Uh, our last whiskey. We've come to our last whiskey already. It seems like it's so quick.
I feel like we just started.
We just
talking.
started. This is ridiculous. Well, you know what? We can always, after this pandemic's over, we can always meet in a bar and talk more.
That sounds great, and I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait.
Just to see a human in the eye instead of this flat video screen, it's not the same. As much as I love this experience and love being with you, it's just not the same.
I'm very grateful that we have this. Extremely grateful. But I am really, really ready just to be beside humans. Are you both are you introverted, extroverted? Wait. That's a trick question. When you asked me if I just came from nowhere, that you both came from nowhere. Yeah. Are you both extroverts or introverts or sort of both?
I'm an introvert, I think, in general.
Yeah, I'm definitely
I value my alone time.
Yeah, I'm definitely an introvert. I recharge my batteries by being entirely alone.
Okay.
And so, there is like a weird thing with this whole experience of part of me is like, yes. I'm sorry, but that's that's how it is. But I totally get it. Like people who are freaking out that it's like for them, because I was never alone. Like if I was in prison or something, that would be like the worst experience, because just being around other people all the time and never being alone, that would be hard for me.
Yeah. Well, don't commit any crimes.
No, it's good advice.
Okay.
Just in general.
All right. Don't commit crimes. That's how you end up in prison, is committing crimes?
Yeah. And
shit.
We could probably go down a long conversation, but one of the ways.
All the crimes you've committed? Wait, I'm not following this conversation.
What? No, just before we analyze the
Laura, are you also an extrovert or an introvert?
Yeah. What are you?
I am more extroverted than I am introverted, but I do have, I think I'm more in the middle than I thought I was. So, because I do like some recharge time. I do like that, but at the end of the day, I think I get most of my energy. Like if I'm out with you guys and I see you, that is going to give me way more energy than if I'm by myself. And I will literally come home after a long day if I get to see a lot of people and interact with people. And I feel like I can conquer the world. I'm like, I couldn't go to sleep now. I guess I'll do a workout video and some yoga. I'm just like, yes. So I think that officially qualifies me as an extrovert.
Okay, yeah. See, I'll be the same. I'll see you folks, and I'll be so excited and so happy, or we'll do a show, and afterwards we come off and we're so excited and buzzed about it. But then there comes a time where it's there's this switch that goes off. It's I've had too much people. Bye, gotta go.
Yeah. I think everyone has that limit somewhere. It's just where that is, because I feel that. Yeah.
I like being around people, and obviously I'm a performer, so I like getting attention. So I'm in that weird, I think, and we're all performers, so we're in that weird place of we're introverts, but also look at me for a while. Well, everybody pay attention to me for a while. But and I love being around people, but it's exactly that description that Andrew gave is perfect. It's at a certain point, and now no people at all.
Yeah. Good night.
For a while.
Good luck. Yeah.
Good night and good luck.
Hey, so speaking of good night and good luck, here's Blair Athol. You don't get a lot of bottles from Blair Athol. They are a part of the Diageo juggernaut. So components of this will find its way into Johnny Walker. Not Jack Daniels. You caught me off on the wrong track there. Right. I don't blame you. No, it's my brain. It's my brain that can't remember anything. Johnny Walker. So they're one of the components of that, and some other blends. So they don't really give a lot of releases. So sometimes independent bottlers like Old Malt Cask will buy a cask from Blair Athol. They do an awful lot of sherry. So I'm going to go into a story that I got at Blair Athol before I introduce the whiskey any further. So they get sherry butts. And they use them twice, like most distilleries. They will use the sherry butt twice, and then by the third time, there's just not enough of the sherry in the cask to give the whiskey any kind of flavor. So what they'll do is they'll put sherry back into the cask and age that sherry for a number of years, so it starts absorbing back into the cask and recharge it. And eventually, that sherry will go down in alcohol, until it becomes no longer viable as something to charge the casks with. And at that point, they take that sherry and they sell it to a company that will will filter it and create windshield wiper fluid out of it. So it's still got some alcohol to cut through all the grease on a windshield. But I mean, that's what happens to the sherry from Blair Athol, and it may happen for other distilleries as well. This is the only one I heard it does this way.
Wow.
A random.
Well, Lori and I have like literally jaw drop. Like,
I just didn't expect the story to go there.
No,
wow.
Neither did we. It was one of those things where you're like, what? Okay.
Wow. So, that boy from Alberta, he knows some good trivia.
Yeah.
The boy from Alberta.
We turn on the windshield wipers in Scotland and go out and smell the windshield. No. So here it is. It's a Blair Athol. It's a 23-year-old old malt cask sherry butt, 59.6%. There's not a lot of information on here from what kind of sherry butt. It was distilled in March 95 and bottled in July 18.
Have we had a Blair Athol on the show before? I don't recognize it. I don't
think so. And again, because they don't have a lot of casks that they release independently under the Blair Athol thing, being part of the Diageo blend thing, it's not a common thing to see. So when it comes up, like I bought 2 of these bottles sight unseen because I know that they generally are sherry bombs, and so we'll see if this is.
The Scotch Whisky Society, do they ever have Blair Athol?
They have Blair Athols from time to time as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's mainly these other independent bottlers that buy a cask from the distillery where you get the Blair Athol label. I've not seen a Blair Athol distribution. They might do it, but I just haven't seen it.
All right.
Very excited.
I guess. And I ran out of clean Glencairn glasses, so I am using a Copita or a distillery taster glass. This one's from Bruichladdich.
Huh. I like it. I like
59% kicks you in the nose right away.
Yeah, it really does. It definitely smelled alcohol more than I have with any of the others.
Lori, one of the things you can do to get rid of that alcohol to get the nose more accessible is just a quick little puff.
Ooh, I like knowing that.
And get that out of the way.
And then you just smell the flavors.
Wow.
And do you know who taught me that?
Who?
Our tour guide at Blair Athol.
Oh, wow.
Boom.
Wow.
The circle is complete. Time is a flat circle.
Joseph, have you done a lot of touring in Scotland?
I've been to the Scotch Whisky Society where I got this map. And,
Experience.
I've been to, yeah. That's right. You got me doing that.
I started
Scotch Whisky Experience. That's their theme song. And I've been to Edinburgh.
Did you do Fringe? Did you do Edinburgh Fringe?
Haven't been to the Fringe. I was there just traveling after doing D&D in a castle, which is something that I do. Ash, my wife, is like one of the event coordinators for that. So basically people pay money and then I'm a dungeon master in a castle. I get paid to be a dungeon master. It's so awesome. It's like the best job ever.
And I want to confirm on the other side that he is an excellent dungeon master. And if you have a chance to go to D&D in the castle, and I really hope it's happening because I'm going to join you in September if it's happening.
That'd be great.
Go it.
My God. I want to go it so badly.
It's really awesome. You're in a legit castle and you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it's then they have like really great, like the people who run the event are all really awesome. It's really cool. And
Joseph is a phenomenal dungeon master. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah. I believe that so much. This is amazing because I feel like there are just so many layers that I am learning about each of you. So I wish we had 2 more hours because that is very amazing and cool. Yeah. Where was the last?
What's sorry. That?
I was just going to ask for the latest one. Is it always the same castle?
No. What is it? Langley was the one. There's 2 castles, and I get them confused because Langley was the one we did last year, and I think this next. Although last year it was like at various castles, and this year it's all at the same castle. Although there's a bit of there might be some vicissitudes involved because of the virus, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Vicissitudes?
Vicissitude changes. Vicissitudes. Also a discipline in Vampire the Masquerade that the Shemisi have. Vicissitudes allows them to change their form, their physical form. Anyway, it's just a cool word that means changes.
It is a great word, and I never heard it before. So.
I have never heard it before either.
No, but it's really good of you, Andrew, to ask. Sometimes I just smile and nod when there are giant words. I'm like, yes, that's right. That is a word.
Yep. Totally know that word.
So this year I think it's in. Oh wait, no, I think maybe last year it was in Lumley, and this year it's in Langley. Those are the two castles, Langley and Lumley.
Well, that's phonetically disappointing that they came so close.
That's why they're hard to keep straight.
I get it.
And I feel bad that I don't off the top of my head remember which one is which, but I think this year it's Langley and last year was Lumley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it says down there because Joseph has just emailed me the information.
Oh,
there we go.
Wow.
There we
now
go.
we know.
But you can you just go to D&D in a castle and it'll have all the information. So.
That is so cool. I'm so glad to know this.
It's a really awesome event.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We tasting this?
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly. Now that is interesting.
It is so different than I expected.
Oh, wow.
It's like more bitter than I thought it was going to be. It's like a bit bitter.
It does. It tastes like there's bitters in it. Like someone has put some, like it almost is like an old fashioned. Oh my God.
But not like the first whiskey, not like in a very aggressive, annoying way. This is...
Oh, this reminds me of like this also kind of reminds me of some sort of fancy rum drink. Like I feel like there's tropical fruit in here, like mangoes or something like that, or pineapples. Like there's like a real...
I can see the pineapple influence in the nose.
This reminds me of, this tastes like a tropical like rum drink to me, like something you'd get at Hawaii.
I cannot put my finger on it. And maybe it is just like a fruity, but not the same kind of fruity. Like I'm not gonna lie, I think I might have liked the first one more than this one. The more annoying kind of fruit. But yeah, I can't describe it. Maybe it is just bitters. Like it tastes like bitters to me.
Lori,
my favorite one so far has been was the third one.
The third one's my favorite. Yeah.
Was it the Mortlock? Was that the third one?
The third one was Macallan.
Macallan. Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite one so far.
Mm-hmm.
Of this, but I like this a lot.
Lori, I have a lot of problems actually accessing the flavors that I want to describe, so I do an interpretive dance about it. If that helps you, if you would like to do something.
You do an interpretive dance?
I do sometimes when I'm trying to access what the flavor is. There's very expressive hands going on and gestures.
I like that. That's great. Yeah. So for this one, I can do an interpretive dance.
Please.
Okay.
Oh, please.
Okay, great.
Oh, off screen start.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yes,
Thank
perfect.
you.
100%. Then I don't think I could describe it better than with words than what you did with
I think that was
with
bang
movement.
on.
Great. Okay. Well, this is interesting because I do feel like there's a different house I'm going to build here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tropical hut on a sandy beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anywhere in Scotland. This is somewhere in the Caribbean. That's where this is. And there's there's a fire, and on that fire you have some spits with roasting pineapples and mangoes, maybe some papayas. Like you're roasting in sugar some tropical fruit. That's what this is.
I love that. And if you did want to make this hut in Scotland, what are the huts called where they build them out in the middle of the lake instead, like to protect themselves? No. Oh my gosh. Well, I will have to. It's right down there because I'm gonna send you this.
Oh yes, please do send me, because most of the time it's just up to me to research and find out what these things are people talk about.
I'm gonna tell you.
Please send me it.
I do want to say both of those castles are near the border of Lumley and Langley. They're both near the border because there's a lot of castles, along Hadrian's Wall, because got to protect from the Scottish invaders, right?
Yeah,
the Picts are going to come down here and with their kilts and their their blue face paint and raid the wildlings north of the wall.
That's so, and what a cool thing to be able to go walk beside on your. Do you get to go out? Like, are you really, really doing D&D, or do you also get to build any sort of fun adventure around it.
There's a castle day where you can go and kind of hang out at the castle, and you can obviously stay, but mostly you're just playing D&D in a castle the whole time. Like, it's a pretty serious schedule. Like, we do, you do 4 hours of D&D, and then you have like
sustenance break, back to D&D.
Yeah, you go eat and then you go back to the D&D. Yeah. And you have like 3-4 hour periods. So you have like, like a morning and an evening and then a late evening. And so you only do
12 hours of D&D a day.
You do two of those. And then the other 4 hours you can go and just hang out at the castle or do whatever you want.
Is it the same campaign in those? Or is it every campaign is 4 hours?
Yeah, it's the same campaign. But the other thing is, like, they have one-off GMs. So during the other 4 hours, you can go play another game.
Oh,
that could be anything. So it could be any role-playing game. Could be Call of Cthulhu or whatever.
So as a group, you need to do the same 2-4 hour block a day.
You do the same 2-4 hour block a day. And some people take the other 4 hours and just have some alone time or private time. They don't necessarily play another game, but yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, their wall is up. They're done and go home.
Yeah, and you stay in the castle. You have like rooms in the castle, and the castle feeds you. It's all included. Like, you get like food at the designated time periods, and it's like, because now like the castles, they don't need castles, so they're just hotels, right?
So Andrew, I cannot wait to replan our trips so that includes this.
Yeah.
I would be so happy if you guys were there. Like, you have no idea. That would be so awesome to have you both of you.
It sounds so awesome.
It's really cool.
If September's the time you're going, I mean, we want to overlap with Joseph, obviously. Even if we don't do D&D in a castle.
And then we can go and travel around like Scotland and go to the distilleries. I really want to do that this time, because last time I stayed for a bit and, we went to Ireland and hung out with a friend of ours, Lucy, in Ireland. And so this time I want to like go just do Scotland and like go to some distilleries. So
I love that. I'm really jazzed to see so much of it. I've only done Edinburgh and St. Andrews, and I have never done Highlands. Mm-hmm. And my dad has been doing an enormous amount of genealogy recently.
Oh yes.
And my gosh, and he spent a lot of times in various graveyards in North Carolina, Tennessee, and
Sounds
Georgia.
Super creepy, but okay.
But he is uncovered and documented.
Now, are you part Scottish as well then?
Yes.
I'm a quarter Scottish Canadian, so yeah.
Look.
So like my grandmother got obsessed with it, and apparently like I'm McLean is and she got us like clan tartans, and yeah. I'm a quarter,
God, that's amazing.
And I'm descended from the Jardine clan, which is southern Scotland.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I think we found out that we're Boyds. And I don't know where the Boyds were, but Dad has like found
Cheers.
He's
Dad has found
some relatives. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Living relatives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can trace back to a common ancestor, and you can show up at their door and go, "Hi, I'm Lori from the U.S. Hi."
Exactly. Yeah, you didn't want this, but here we are.
Give me some haggis. Let's taste what's natural and local.
Have you had haggis, Lori? Have you had haggis?
No, because I did a veggie haggis when I did Edinburgh, right, but I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same. And the idea even when I was a meat eater, I think the idea really, really grossed me out. But I will say that we did a show at the Fringe, and so we were mainly there, like, really going to town on the show. But then everyone else in the play was all in, and I think everybody but one person really loved it, which I found really surprising, because I just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work in my brain. Like, it just doesn't work as something delightful. But obviously, it's been around for so long. People have
to like it.
Yeah.
Well, so gefilte fish has been around for a long time too, and that's just nasty.
Nobody likes gefilte fish.
Yeah, I guess it's true. Longevity isn't always.
Durian. Like, I've never had the durian plant, but I've seen people. I watched Anthony Bourdain like try to eat it, and it's like, yeah, I don't know why anyone would want that.
Well, sometimes you just need to sustain yourself, and this is the only thing around. So I guess that makes sense.
But I get it.
What show were you in at the Fringe? Yeah. What year?
It was 2012, I think. And I was doing a grad program in York, so it was like an hour and a half from Edinburgh. And I had convinced my friends from Chicago. We started at a little theater company called Wishbone, and we had done a play that we devised through improv, actually with a Herald format, called Spandex, and it was about how you can be super in the world today. So it was a bunch of high school kids, younger than that, like middle school kids exploring superheroes, and they're like playing as superheroes, but also trying to come to terms with what is super in your life now. And then the adult versions of themselves were grappling with a death penalty case, which sounds very, very serious. But we were able to play with like comedy drama, I think, in a fun but thoughtful way. And so we're really proud of it, and it was fun and rewarding to do. So I dragged all of these humans across the ocean to come to me, and it worked. It was great.
That sounds awesome.
Totally.
Like my senior project play that I did in college was a play about superheroes, like made up superheroes. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And so they were in a whole new world.
They were in their own. It was kind of like, it was before what was that movie that came out? The first one that was like a deconstruction of superheroes, sort of a thing. I forget what the movie was. Oh God, what was it?
Is it right here?
I hope so.
Oh, it is.
My brain is not working. It was like
with the young Chloe. Is that the one?
It had it was like really early on, but basically I predated that because my play was a deconstruction of superheroes.
I know exactly what you're talking about right now, by the way.
It's like there was like a one guy, like what's her face?
It's like
this is so helpful, Joseph. This is so helpful.
It's like early 2000s, right?
It had people in it, and it was a media thing.
And a famous dark-haired, sardonic actress whose name I can't remember right now.
No, me either. And I actually can see her face.
And the bowling ball. There's a bowling ball. Like one of the characters had a bowling ball, right? And they were. God,
I don't remember the bowling ball, but I remember the dark colors, the extremely dark colors.
Like I want to say Mad Men, but it was something Mystery Men. Mystery Men. That's fucking it. It's Mystery Men. Mystery Men.
Well done.
Oh God. Bye everybody.
And he's out.
Mystery Man. Anyway, cool. I in the mid 1991, I wrote this play called The Adventures of Amy Man and the Amazing Men. I think you can actually find it. Like you can watch a really low rent version of it on YouTube somewhere. Like I think my friend who played Amy Man, and it was before like Amy Man was a musician as well. But
so like, Amy Man was not a reference to her.
It wasn't at all. No, it was a really weird oblique reference that like I can go into it and you can cut it out later. But basically, like I was designing a video game on the Commodore 64 where you could create superheroes. And I wanted to create a superhero called Any Man, because they could do, they could do anything, or whatever. And it was a typo, or I think there was a glitch on the disc, and it just renamed it to and I never finished the game. I don't know, but Amy Man, I was like, what sort of character would have it? Like that would be like if there was like a superhero, like I am Amy Man. Like what would that person be? And basically,
I could dry and press flowers in seconds.
Well, no, he got his powers because he was in love with this girl named Amy, and she died, and then he named himself after her.
I love that.
So it was this very like everybody had the weird sort of take on like all the superheroes. Like the Zoom was like a kind of a. She had a Cassandra complex because she could see the future. She was out of like sync with time. Sometimes she could move really fast. Sometimes she moved really slow. Sometimes she would say the thing. She would answer like what you were about to say before you said it. Like you would say something, but she had already previously answered. And it was like these and Super Ball. Anyway, there were really, really weird takes on superheroes.
I love that.
It was ahead of its time.
Oh, hey, the link is right down here for the YouTube presentation from Joseph.
Oh, God,
Joseph just sent it to me.
I don't.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and there's the link
really,
right there.
It's literally like a video of a college performance of something in the 90s. No one's going to watch that.
Don't care.
Well, I'm going to watch it, and I'm very excited.
I'm going to watch it.
No, it does sound like there's some similarities from what we did, because we had like the kid versions, like the kid characters, their adult characters, but then we had their superhero characters, like the things that they played with each other, but we had them do monologues. And it was like the third round of the Herald each time was that superhero world. And so we had this one like very like type A kid, and her superhero was like it was like a great organizer. Like she had like everything.
I was
like,
gonna say, was she called the organizer? Was that her?
You know, it wasn't that.
The organizer.
I wish I could remember. It's something so similar to that. And then like we had just like really, really silly
I am the
things.
labeler.
Yeah, exactly. She had like a calculator. She had like all these things coming out. Like she was just so prepared. And but she realized like that was her superpower, but it existed in this world that was in the clouds. And we had Paul's character was just a straight up clown. And his whole thing was just like that his superpower was making other people laugh. And he was a kid that was like insecure and like, you know, couldn't navigate like the world of like interpersonal relationships. But in his superhero world, he was so funny and so charming. And
do you have a video of that? Because I want to see that.
I'm pretty sure we do. And if I can find it,
you got to digitize that before like, before the media like decomposes. Because after time, like it's gone forever.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I will.
Got to put it in the cloud.
Yeah. Yes, our superhero cloud and the cloud.
Bang.
Because I do want to see that, Lori.
After all of the whiskeys we've tried today, and I just want to say, don't put water in this last one. Okay. But I liked it. It's my favorite of the evening because it was more mature, I thought, than the Macallan. It was more a complex flavor.
I have to say, like this grew on me as we were drinking it, and now this is my favorite of the four. Like this is like it wasn't, but when I first had it, but now I think it is.
And Lori, what do you think?
I still think the Macallan is my favorite. Okay. I still
Fair
think
enough.
it is. I really enjoyed it because like I can appreciate that the complexity of this flavor. I actually really can, but I think in terms of just how much I enjoyed the Macallan, I think it was so straightforward. You know, it was just like, yeah, I really loved it.
Well, the question I have for you right now is that after trying all of these whiskeys, I want to know, do you like whiskey?
I not only like whiskey, I fucking love
whiskey.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you for this. Honestly. Cheers.
Cheers, humans.
Humans.